Hello everybody, Gisele Grenier here. In today's video lesson, I'm continuing on with my book of backgrounds, and I'm going to be experimenting this time with the reversal, putting metallic paint on acrylics and lifting it up. And I was finding with my experiments is I was trying to put acrylic paints down, metallics on top, and then doing a very specific removal technique that the metallics were coming up. And I'm thinking because the metallics are thicker and maybe heavier than the acrylics, I'm going to try it in reverse to see what happens. So onto the table, what I have is a piece of 140-pound watercolor paper. I've got some Decor Americana premium gesso here. This is out of the tube just to show how thick it is, because some people were asking me why I switch between the brands, and there's really no reason other than trying to keep everything together. But with the media gesso, I have 3 little containers. So think of 3 containers. Then I have one in the middle, which is just the product as is. Then I have another container that had gesso, where I basically, took out about a quarter of it. And I topped it up, mixing very slowly distilled water, which made the gesso very thin. Then in the other one, I left the cap off, and I did this over about a day. Stir, stir, stir to really thicken up the gesso to evaporate a lot of the moisture. So this one here is the one that's right in the middle. I'll just show you that it's nice and fluid. It's not fluid, but it's movable. I can combine the two, no big deal. So the one out of the tube is what I would take with this and then just let some of the moisture evaporate. But it's great for some texture. And so what I want to do, clean the palette knife off, is I'm just going to take some of this and just scrape on some gesso. You can apply this with a brush if you want. I already used the palette knife to mix it up, so why dirty a brush? And I'll talk about the paint in a second. Just popping that on there. So you just want to get something on there. It doesn't matter how you put it on. Okay, that's it. And then you have to let that dry. Because it's so thick, you let it air dry. Magic of TV. I have one already done, but this one I applied with a brush for a smoother technique. Well, just to show you. So if you want some nice texture, you'll get that. And if you want to apply it with a brush, you'll get basically that, which nothing really shows. So for putting down the paint, so I'm going to be using some fluid acrylics this time. I'm going to be using 2, so Decor Media Fluid Acrylics, Transparent Red Iron Oxide and Ultramarine Blue. If you guys that are my students and members of the studio and have taken my color mixing and theory courses, you know what I'm making, a transparent chromatic black. Then I'm going to be using the Decor Dazzling Metallics, my mouth is rented. The Dazzling Metallics metallic paint in zinc. The idea that I'm working for this one, again, with the book of backgrounds, I did, and I'm only going to be saying this in a few of the videos, so I'm not repetitive. I did an opening party on Facebook, the changes to the book of backgrounds. So these backgrounds are being done more as experiments. One side of the paper, because they're being used for painting studies, and then I could also then turn around and cut them up into smaller pieces for artist trading cards. I'm not doing it as a journal anymore. I'm using them for practical art purposes. So first thing we're going to do, we're putting the metallic paint on first. And I shook this really well at the beginning. And I'm thinking now what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to apply this. Oh, the palette knife that I just found on the floor that had the gesso on it. This is a new color. I've never used this before, so I just want to see what I'm going to get. This is really, really pretty. I like that. I'm going to apply that. I'm going to apply that whole. Yeah. So I'm going to be basting this with the metallic paint. Look, it matches my shirt. Basing this with the metallic, and you can do this in any color you want. It doesn't have to be this, but this is a nice color. And when I put the fluid paints on, then I'm going to be we're moving it up using a wet, use a baby white paper towel, doesn't matter. And I'm looking for almost like one of those aged mirrors. I saw one at a store down on the beach, in the beaches area, antique store, and I fell in love with the look of it. So just like that, doesn't have to be perfect. And pop that in some water. So I'm going to dry this. I like that. I love that. So now I'm going to take the equal part. I'm going to put it right here. Equal parts of ultramarine blue and transparent red iron oxide. And mix that up. We'll see how that's going to work, and get a baby wipe, a clean baby wipe prepared. I'm going to need 2. No, let's not do it this way. Let's not do it this way. Get a clean paper towel, and I have to get a double sheet. I use the Viva paper towels because of the texture, and they're my favorite. I should have bought stock in this company. Okay, and I've got water, so I'm going to need that. Well, this turned out a little bit more brown than I wanted. Oopsie. Oh well. Too late now. I can always add some transparent red iron oxide in there. I'm going to, because I wanted this to be more on the red side. That's it. That's it. And you want to do this before you want to get the technique down before the paint dries. I don't really want to add medium to it because it's going to make it heavier. Oh, I love that. Love that. Okay. And then take the paper towel. And where the paper towel is wet, it should lift the paint up. Oh, I didn't put enough there. I don't know if that's going to work. I've done this with rubbing alcohol. Really nice. But chaos is just over there, and I don't want to. Make her eyes flare up. This puts a lot of texture in here. Do that up. That's not bad. Take a baby wipe. Yeah, the baby wipe is a little less with the texture there. I love that color, but I want to fade that out a little bit. What if I dried this and put some transparent red iron oxide on top? I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. I love that. I like the texture, but it's a bit too much. All I see is texture. So I'm going to take that baby wipe and I'm going to diffuse this. Soften it up a little bit. It's also a bit too brown, but that's okay. See how that's softening up there? Go to a clean part. And if I want to, get more of the metallic showing through, then I can just do a gentle rub. This also depends a lot on the environment that you're working in. If right now the furnace is on, so it's warm, and it's very warm and dry in here. Yes. if any paint companies, well, if Decor stops making transparent red iron oxide, I'm gonna be exaggerating. I think I'll die. The only other transparent red iron oxide I love more than the Decor one, but it's a completely different. It's from M. Graham, and it's the one for oils. Oh, it is gorgeous. You can even deepen the edges. Oh, God, I love that. Oh, that's what I'm looking for. So I'm thinking now, a painting I want to do, it might be a bit too brown, but then I can always change this to a blue metallic. Oh, all these ideas now. I'm going to dry this again. Because you know what else, if you find something that's just a little too metallic, cover it with a transparent layer of an equal acrylic paint. So if I was using, let's say, bronze, and the bronze was too shiny, I could use this transparent red iron oxide, or even quinacridone burnt orange. Now watch. So let's pretend you're working. Oh, I put too much. Oh, that's even better. Shoot. How am I going to show you this now? Keep that. Let's say you put too much on. Then just basically come in and take your baby wipe. Don't do it flat like this because you're going to get hard edges. So nice and bunched up, wet. And then you're just going to go in the middle and you're just going to blah, 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 and go round and round and round. You're going to remove just a little bit. And don't rub. You're just patting. And see how it's slightly coming up? To create that nice vignette. And you get a nice soft edge. You're not getting any hard edges. And when I mean a hard edge, I mean like that. You don't get those hard edges of paint. So now I want to add some back because I liked how deep that was. So I'm just going to take this one here and pat it back. You can also dry, put matte medium, dry, put matte medium, dry, put matte medium to create barrier layers. Just keep in mind for every layer of matte medium, you're going to lose the shine. Oh, jeepers creepers. And this is where I wish I would have done this on a big scale. I love that. Love that. Oh my God. I'm sorry. There's just sometimes, oh, you create something that you just absolutely love. Well, that's it. I'm not doing any more. I'm not doing any more on that. I was going to try taking doing a stencil on that, but no way. I love this. So, okay, I'm going to clean up to try to fill 2 minutes worth of time here. So then for this, I just have to let it dry, and then I can use it for a painting study or cut it up for smaller art pieces. But just, can you imagine cutting this up into a postcard and sending that as a postcard? You just have to finish the back. But, oh my God, that's beautiful. I'm immediately thinking of what would be beautiful on this. Can you imagine? This is a little bit larger. It's also a little bit too much portrait and too much landscape, so you need to make it proportioned. But if you created something like a wine bottle with some grapes or something like that, look at that. Oh, it's gorgeous. So I would love to hear from you. Share your tips if you've ever used metallic paint, some unusual things that you've done with it, and share in the comments below, because if it's something that I've never tried before, I love trying out other people's techniques, because nobody knows everything. So I'd love to get some tips from you guys and give them a try. So let me know what you think. Comment below. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this lesson, if you learned anything, or if you're able to share anything. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on anything. And even more important, hop on over to artplace.ca. On the right side, there's the Creative Insider subscriber. So subscribe to that. Like I said, a weekly email of live streams and some free tutorials and all that stuff. And as well, there's a link on the page as well to join the private Facebook group where we share even more stuff. And that's actually where my live streams are held. So that's it. Alrighty. So I'm loving this. Look, that beautiful. Love it. Alrighty. I'm so excited. I'm actually turned on right now. So I'm going to clean up, get ready for my next tutorial, and until I see you in my next lesson, stay inspired.